The desert, a place where time slows down, where sand whispers ancient stories, and where the sun paints the world in gold. In the heart of Morocco, far from the buzzing cities and coastal winds, lies a different kind of magic, the culture of Morocco's desert towns. This isn't just a journey through geography. It's a journey into identity, into traditions shaped by heat, wind, survival, and beauty. Today, we begin exploring the distinctive culture of the Sahara's edge, where nomads meet traders, kasbahs tower over dusty streets, and centuries-old customs still guide daily life. Welcome to the desert. Welcome to the soul of Morocco. 1. Merzouga Gateway to the Dunes. Let's begin in Merzouga, a small village near the Algerian border, known for its sweeping dunes and camel caravans. But Merzouga is more than a photo op. It's a living portal to Berber desert life. Here, the day begins early with drums, tea, and silence. Families live in clay-walled homes or desert tents, and every corner of town carries the imprint of resilience. The locals, proud descendants of Amazi, Berber tribes, speak Tamazight Arabic and sometimes French or Spanish. They wear vibrant blue turbans to shield themselves from the sun and wind. Music echoes at night, Nawa rhythms played by firelight, telling stories of ancestors, freedom, and spiritual strength. If you want to understand the desert, you start in Merzouga, not with a camera, but with your ears, your hands, your heart. 2. Erfoud, the fossil capital of the Sahara. A short drive away is Erfoud, a town that may look quiet, but hides a prehistoric secret beneath its soil. Erfoud is known as the fossil capital of Morocco. Walk into any workshop, and you'll see artisans polishing ammonite shells, prehistoric coral, and even dinosaur bones turning ancient remnants into beautiful art. This deep connection to the land is more than business. It's identity. It's a reminder that the Sahara wasn't always sand. It was sea. That even the emptiest places are full of time. And here, families pass this fossil knowledge from generation to generation. Young boys learn how to carve, sand, and sell. Their fingers are covered in dust older than anything you've ever known. 3. Rissani, the market town of the ancients. Further along the dusty road is Rissani, once the powerful capital of the Tafilalt region, and today, home to one of the most authentic souks in the desert. Step inside and your senses are overwhelmed. The smell of spices, cumin, saffron, dried mint. The clang of metalworkers shaping teapots and lanterns. The calls of traders selling dates, cloth, and camel saddles. Unlike the tourist-heavy souks of Marrakesh, Rissani's market is for locals, by locals. This is where nomads stock up for desert crossings, where donkeys still carry loads through narrow lanes, where centuries-old bartering still rules, and if you're lucky, you'll be invited to share a steaming glass of mint tea served sweet, strong, and slow. Because in Rissani, commerce is always followed by connection. 4. Ait Benhaddou, the living Kasbah. Now we journey west, past mountain passes and oases, to a place that looks like it was carved from dreams. Ait Benhaddou, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. This ksar, or fortified village, is made of red clay and straw, perched along a river that runs only when it wants to. You may have seen it in movies like Gladiator or Game of Thrones. But behind the cinematic fame lies a community that still breathes. Families still live here, upholding traditions of clay architecture, communal cooking, and oral storytelling that stretches back centuries. The tall Kasbah towers aren't just pretty. They were built to protect, to shelter from the sun, from raids, from storms. Walk these narrow paths and you don't feel like a tourist. You feel like a time traveler. 5. The spirit of nomadism more than a lifestyle. Above all, the desert towns of Morocco are shaped by one unshakable identity: nomadism. For centuries, Berber nomads moved across the Sahara with camels, goats, and stories. They read the stars, they listen to the sand, and they survived not by fighting the desert, but by flowing with it. Today, many nomads still live this way, setting up tents near water sources, building fires from thorny wood, and carrying centuries of wisdom in their songs. But even those who've settled in towns carry the spirit of movement, adaptability, and deep connection to nature. To understand Morocco's desert towns, you must understand this. Here, culture isn't a performance. It's survival. It's beauty. It's identity forged by sand and sky. We walked through ancient kasbahs, traded stories in sun-baked markets, and followed the footsteps of nomads across golden dunes. But Morocco's desert towns are not just about where people live. They're about how people live, what they eat, what they believe, and how they stay rooted in tradition while facing the winds of change. So let's continue deeper into the soul of the Sahara. 6. The food of the desert. Simple, sacred, shared. Out here, food is more than fuel, it's hospitality, ritual, and a link to the land. In most desert homes, meals are cooked low and slow in tagines made of clay, heated by coals or buried underground in sand ovens. There's no rush here. Cooking is patient. Eating is communal. You'll often find lamb or chicken tagines with apricots, almonds, and saffron. Couscous steamed to perfection and topped with root vegetables. Fresh cobs bread baked daily, torn and dipped into every bite. And of course, endless cups of mint tea, poured high for foam and flair. In nomadic tents, meals are eaten with the right hand, seated on colorful rugs, under skies that stretch forever. And if you're a guest, you're treated like family. Because in the desert, sharing a meal is sacred. 7. Spiritual life. Faith in the sand. Desert towns may feel isolated, but they're far from empty. They are alive with spiritual energy, from the soft call to prayer echoing at dawn, to the rhythmic chants of Sufi mystics under the stars. Islam is the heart of daily life here, practiced with a quiet devotion that shapes everything from trade to time. But alongside it flows a more mystical current, one of music, healing, and spiritual ceremony. In places like Kamlia, a small village near Merzouga, the descendants of West African slaves keep the Gnawa traditions alive. Spiritual music using drums, metal castanets, and repetitive rhythms to induce trance and healing. These are not performances, they are rituals, ways of connecting to ancestors, to spirit, and to the land. In the desert, belief is woven into every act, from how you greet others to how you walk the earth. 8. The role of women. Strong, silent, central. In Morocco's desert culture, women may not always be the most visible, but they are the backbone of life. They bake the bread, raise the children, manage the home, care for the animals, and pass down oral traditions from mother to daughter. Many are artisans, weavers, potters, dyers, keeping Berber craftsmanship alive in textiles that tell stories without words. Some run guest houses, serve tea to strangers, and teach travelers about the subtleties of desert hospitality. Their roles are evolving more. Girls now attend school, more women start businesses, but always with a deep respect for tradition. In the rhythm of desert life, women are the steady beat. 9. The desert today, caught between past and progress. As Morocco modernizes, the desert towns face a delicate balance. Tourism brings opportunity but also challenges. More roads but fewer quiet places. More jobs but rising prices. More visibility but sometimes at the cost of authenticity. And climate change adds pressure. Rain falls less, wells dry up, families move to cities, and ancient homes are left to crumble in the sun. But many locals are choosing a third path, preserving their culture while adapting with pride. Eco-lodges run by Berber families, using solar power and traditional design. Cultural tours that teach travelers about real desert life, not just camel rides. Young people returning from cities to revive crafts, languages, and land. The desert is not dying, it is changing, just as it always has. 10. Why it matters, a culture worth protecting. So why should this matter to you? Because the culture of Morocco's desert towns is more than picturesque. It is resilient, generous, and wise. It teaches us to live with less but live well, to honor silence and listen more. That stories matter, even when they're not written. That identity doesn't need screens or skyscrapers to be strong. When you walk these dusty streets or sip tea under the stars, you're not just visiting a place. You're learning a way of being grounded, warm, and timeless. So whether you seek stillness or story, whether you want to taste the past or touch something ancient in yourself, the desert towns of Morocco are waiting. With their red walls, their painted skies, their quiet strength. Come not as a tourist, but as a student. Come ready to listen. Come ready to feel. Because once the desert speaks to you, you never quite forget its voice.